right, what up out there, YouTube heads? Travel Wolf in the building. So today's video is coming from a very special place that I'm going to be working out of. I hope you guys like the setup. I do this special for you. I do this for myself. I invest in making my production quality better. So today, we're going to talk about fearmongering for travelers. If you're a new traveler right now, you probably heard a lot of stories about theft and robberies, mainly just theft and robberies. Excuse my smirk, but it's just absurd. So today we're going to talk about fear mongering in the travel world. That's what's going to be today's topic. But first, remember, Winner Circle Polo, made to measure Polo, sponsors this now, sponsors this whole channel. So you know how to place your order. If you have any questions, all of that is done through my customer team on the product page, link in the description below. So don't forget, for the fat men out there who want to get their wardrobe game up, Winner Circle, made to measure Polo shirts, okay? Don't forget that. So now we're gonna talk about fear mongering. Recently, there are several channels out there right now that are very popular. I'm not going to identify them by name because, like I said, I'm not about disparaging individuals. Everybody has their own imagination. But I will say that they are very overboard with their deduction of the dangers of traveling, right? It's a lot of fear mongering going on. And I don't know if the purpose, if the intent is to really produce information, or if the intent and the purpose is just to dissuade you from doing something that is not only exhilarating for your life, but significant in your growth as an individual, okay? Time and time again, right now, the main sphere of influence is Colombia, the various cities. And I kind of take a personal affront to this because I've lived in Colombia for 5 months, in Cartagena and another city I won't really identify because I don't want all y'all there messing it up for me when I return. But I had zero problems there. And in Cartagena, I was staying in Boca Grande, Castillo Grande, I believe it's called, that area. And I remember coming back from the wall city maybe at like 4:30 in the morning and walking from the supermarket right there at the corner where the Banco Colombia is, the ATM is the supermarket there at the corner, walking from that supermarket all the way down to Calle, I think I was on Calle 12, without a problem, without an incident, you know what I'm saying, with my groceries, going back to my room every night. And so when people disparage Colombia as being a dangerous place, I kind of get very, very annoyed by that because I know that the people in Colombia, they do not deserve that type of attention. They do not deserve that type of reputation. The majority of them are good, hardworking people. They work very hard, as in most countries. I would actually say that for me, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, is more dangerous than Colombia. And I'm going to explain to you why. But Colombia, you should be aware of the possibilities of getting things, of the robberies and things like that. But it's no different than any city in America. It's no different than Miami, South Beach, Florida, New York City, Los Angeles, California. I mean, I can show you better than I can tell you similar incidents happening. And I noticed that no one discusses those things. And I'm not even going to jump on top of the police brutality that happens to African American and Black men in America on a weekly basis, all right? So it's absurd to say that you're going to be in harm for traveling, for leaving the snakes. Now, they don't talk about Thailand being that type of place, and I would agree that Thailand is probably one of the more safer countries in the whole world. I haven't been to all the countries in the whole world, but I say I feel very safe here. I know if I go out and I want to really have a good time to the point where I pass out, which I won't really do, I'm safe anywhere I'm at. In Pattaya, Bangkok, a little bit better, but Pattaya, I'm safe, right? Now, Elsewhere, like I said, you can't really do these things. So that's why I enjoy Thailand. You can't really let your guard down, can't really let your hair down, so to speak, and really have a good time. But I think the fear mongering is designed to dissuade you for traveling for this purpose. You see, the social scene for men in America is deteriorating at a rapid rate. It's basically on life support. But the game is still in play. There's still a game at foot. And the game needs suckers. The game needs suckers. It needs willing participants. It needs those blue pill individuals who think that it's going to change, who think that it's going to get better. You got people right now talking about this ain't the alternative. Well, if this ain't the alternative, then what is? Dramatic pause, right? If traveling isn't the alternative to socialization, to enhancing your social life, then what is? That's the question I have for these people who are fearmongers, promoting fearmongering, right? Every other day, every other day, every other day. And the reason why is because in a grand scheme of numbers, it's not even close to being statistically recognizable. Yeah, it gets a lot of attention because people keep saying the same thing, but just on a general basis, every day across the planet, people are robbed and people die. And they're not even traveling. This is just in their own country. Things happen in the universe. The danger is real. The fear is not. But if you go and you conduct yourself in a steadfast manner and you go with an intent and a purpose other than the underground stuff, you'll be relatively fine. You're relatively fine. And I'll share something with you for an example. When I was in my final week or two in Colombia, I traveled to Medellin. And I gotta say, it's really a lot like Brooklyn, New York. So if you wanna get your feet wet and see what it's like, and you're not already in New York City, go to Brooklyn, New York. That's what it's like to me. But when I got there, because I'm not from Brooklyn, obviously, I'm from Staten Island, but when I got there, I was just so overwhelmed. It was so overwhelming. I was like, yeah, I'm in over my head. So you know what I did? I did nothing. I went to Parque Jerez, I went to Provenza, hanged out, walked around, did those type of things, but that was it, you know? Just enjoy the night air. I did nothing, without going into too many details because I was like, yeah, I'm in over my head and I don't want to participate in anything that's going to put me in danger. So if you go with that mindset, you'll be okay. Now, it sounds to me like they're not saying that. What they're saying is they're doing what we call victim blaming. They're blaming the victim for things that are out of their control. They're blaming the victim for having a lack of ability to do judgment, to be mature. Some people don't have street smarts. Some people live a relatively square life. But for the most part, you can't blame the victim. And I think a lot of people aren't really so worried about the danger as much as they are about justice, somebody being held accountable for harming them. But like I said before, you can avoid all of that just by going out there and being mature and realizing maybe my luck won't hold out. Maybe I'm in over my head. I should stop now. I should do something else. What else can I do here? But to not travel because of the fear of danger, I think as a red pill man is just not an option because nothing is going to change for us. And I say that again, nothing is going to change for us in the snakes. I watch TV a lot. I read a lot. I watch YouTube videos a lot because the ones that deal with the criminal justice system, men in prison, men being denied parole, men getting life sentences around the age of 30, 40, like life sentences like 20 years or life without the possibility of parole. And I've come to the conclusion that men are the most punished in the world right now. Well, in the States, we're the most punished. We're the most disposable, right? And that's so sad. It's so awful that you can live your whole life and you can make one lapse of judgment. That one lapse of judgment is all it takes for you to lose everything. There's no repeat, there's no second chance, right? And so, how do we prevail? How do we protect ourselves? Well, you got to see the society that we are living in for what it is, and you have to leave. Um, I was having a conversation with an acquaintance of mine. He um he and his family immigrated to to Snakes a long time ago, and I was saying, I noticed that you left because of these reasons. It wasn't benefiting your family. It was this reason. It was that reason. But I noticed that no one wants to leave America, despite the writing being on the wall, despite the million and one reasons to go somewhere else. You want to stay. But there's a lot of us leaving now. And so how do they deal with that? Well, they do the fearmongering. They say, oh, you're going to die. Oh, you're going to get robbed. Oh, this. Or everyone's the same. Everyone's disingenuous. Now understand, these same people, when I do a generalization, I'm being told I'm ignorant or this, that, and the third. When they do a generalization, they're celebrated, they're cheered, they're cheerleaded, they're clapped, they're applauded, right, for their grand deduction. And I would say this: don't listen to anyone who's sitting at home. If they're not in another country traveling right now, not a tourist, but traveling, don't listen to them. If they're sitting at home and they're armchairing this for you, they have nothing to offer you. You really have to follow people who are moving around, who are making motion, who are living in countries. You really have to follow travelers or expats. So with that being said, I'm going to wrap this up right now just to say that one thing traveling would do for you is it will elevate not just your intelligence, what you have to work with, but it'll also elevate your imagination. There's nothing better than the smell, sight, and sounds of somewhere unfamiliar, somewhere different. And that's the experience I've had. Have I had a lot of close calls? Yes. And they were all in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. That's why I might be a bit biased towards Brazil right now, but hey, it's the only place that gave me smoke, and I'm working on doing a project to talk about that. So that's all I got for today. You guys have any questions or comments or concerns, you know what to do. My current subscribers, thank you for paying attention and supporting me and joining my community. And you guys have a good day. Peace. All right, you can cut.